Hi everyone. So in this video, we're going to be talking about your neighborhood observation writing project. So I'll be explaining exactly what you need to do for that. So for the neighborhood observation writing project number one, you'll need to take a tour around a neighborhood you are familiar with and that you either like or dislike. Now, that like or dislike part, that has to do with what we were talking about earlier about a thesis. That is, I want you to be talking about, and I even kind of mentioned that when I was talking about a thesis. I want you to have a clear sense about what you're trying to say about this. So, if I simply told you to go out and observe what you see in the neighborhood, that wouldn't necessarily hold together as an essay. I saw this, I saw that, I saw that. Well, yeah, but what does it all mean? Either you like or dislike, and why. I'll add that in there. And why you either like or dislike it. This can be the neighborhood where you live, a family neighbor's neighborhood in or near the city, the neighborhood where you work, and even the neighborhood around QCC. So any neighborhood is fine. The only requirement is that you have to be able to get there easily because you will need to rewalk the same neighborhood for the neighborhood observation writing project number two. So I don't want you, as I say, you can't choose your grandmother's neighborhood in Florida because you won't be able to get there easily. Okay, so choose a place that you can get to easily in and around where you live or work or go to school here at QCC. Also, I don't want you to rely on memory when you write, so as you walk around, make notes in a notebook or make a voice recording on your phone. By the way, this document is in the folder as well. Where I'm going to be talking about, in the folder for next week, excuse me, so you can see that and you can print this out. Your assignment is to help us understand why you like or dislike the neighborhood. So as you move around the neighborhood, look for anything that supports your thesis and be sure to include those elements in your essay. If you like the neighborhood, you might notice how many of the residents have flowers on the stoops or how the children draw on the sidewalks with chalk, right? And if you don't like the neighborhood, you might notice the empty lawn strewn with trash or the way the sidewalk is broken and uneven in places. But look for if you're going to tell us, look, this is I like my neighborhood because, and then you're going to find some evidence that supports that. Okay, and so go through and provide that evidence. So again, you're not just seeing everything. You're saying here are the things that support how I feel about the neighborhood. And I say, but you also want to look for things that go against your thesis as well. You might hate the neighborhood, but then notice some ivy growing on a wall that you find very attractive. Or you might like the neighborhood or see a dead rat in the gutter. Nicest neighborhoods. You might see a dead rat. And so the existence of these things that go against your thesis doesn't mean your thesis isn't valid, right? Just because there's a rat in the gutter doesn't mean you don't like your neighborhood. You can definitely still like the neighborhood, but it just makes things a little bit more complicated, right? It's not perfect, but you still like it. Or you don't like it, even though there are these little things that are going to be somewhat positive. Okay, so make sure to organize this assignment by using paragraphs. We talked about that with our topic sentences, right? Paragraphs are groups of related sentences, so make sure that each of your paragraph has a clear idea holding it together. That idea is called the topic sentence, and the details in the paragraph should support that idea. So make sure that certain kind of details go into certain paragraphs. As mentioned that before when we were talking about topic sentences. So if you're going to be talking about the fact that all the neighbors are very friendly, give us all those examples in one paragraph, and then you can go on to talking about how a lot of people in the neighborhood have nice gardens. Okay, so those are two separate things. They're both support your overall thesis, but they're going to be separate, and you don't want to be mixing those things together. This assignment should be at least 750 words long and in MLA format. And so that 750 words is due by the end of next week. But I do want by Monday the 20th, by the time we come into class on Monday the 20th, I want you to have 200 words just to show that you've kind of started this. So you want to begin working on that this weekend. So that's the assignment that we have for this first writing project. We'll be talking about it more on Monday, but again, I hope you need you to have those 200 words by Monday, so start working on Monday. If you're going in the wrong direction on Monday, with those 200 words, I'll let you know. There's a place in Blackboard where you can submit just those 200 words, and then there's another place where you're going to be able to submit the full assignment. So that's the assignment that we have for next week, the big writing assignment. So that's basically what we talked about in class on Monday. Again, we did some more details in terms of looking at the Alexandra Horowitz book. But this is basically what we were talking about, and then we'll try and be in class on Monday so we can have a fuller discussion about this assignment. And again, what I'm going to do is when I talk about this assignment, I'm going to look at some of the things that you guys turned in, that some of you turned in for your 200 words. So I'm going to take your names off, take off any identifying information. So if you name a street, I'm not going to, I might change the name of that street so that people don't recognize it or something like that. And then we'll talk about how well that's working. So it's not due until the end of next week, right? The week of the 20th through the 24th. It's not due until the end of that. But by the 20th, you have the first 200 words. And I will in class explain some things about how better to go about that, so that you might go, oh, wait, I had it incorrect. Now I need to do this. And then that'll give you some time to work on the final version. As always, if you have any questions, make sure to ask me.